1. In the event of an engine fire, what is the first action a CDL passenger transport driver should take? A. Open the hood to inspect the damage. B. Use the intercom to call for help. C. Secure the vehicle and evacuate passengers. D. Drive to the nearest maintenance facility. 2. During an emergency evacuation, which instruction best demonstrates clear communication and leadership? A. Everyone out now. B. Please remain seated until told otherwise. C. Use the nearest exit calmly and assist others if needed. D. Grab your belongings quickly and leave. 3. Which regulatory requirement must a CDL driver follow after an accident involving passenger injuries? A. Complete a satisfaction survey. B. Immediately notify dispatch and law enforcement. C. Finish the route before reporting. D. Only notify passengers' families. 4. When mentoring a new driver on emergency exits, what is the most effective teaching method? A. Have them read the manuals silently. B. Conduct hands-on exit drills with feedback. C. Play an instructional video only. D. Allow them to observe without participating. 5. A driver observes smoke in the cabin. What is the priority action? A. Open all windows. B. Continue to the next stop. C. Pull over safely, secure the vehicle, and evacuate. D. Ask passengers if they smell smoke too. 6. If a driver needs to evacuate passengers on a highway, where should they be directed? A. Across the road and away from traffic. B. Toward the shoulder and into oncoming traffic. C. Back into the vehicle for shelter. D. Directly behind the bus. 7. During training, a candidate asks about emergency reflective triangles. The correct instruction is A. Use them only at night. B. Place them 10, 20, and 30 feet behind the vehicle. C. Place them 10, 100, and 200 feet apart as required. D. They are not required for buses. 8. What is the purpose of the emergency roof hatch in passenger buses? A. To allow for fresh air. B. For emergency lighting. C. To provide an alternate exit during emergencies. D. To store safety equipment. 9. How often must a CDL passenger driver inspect safety equipment such as fire extinguishers? A. Once a month. B. Before each trip. C. Every 6 months. D. When reminded by dispatch. 10. What is the best response when a passenger becomes unconscious? A. Wait for them to recover. B. Secure the bus, call for medical help, and render first aid if trained. C. Continue driving and notify dispatch. D. Ask other passengers to help. 11. If passengers panic during an emergency, what communication technique should be used? A. Raise your voice to get attention. B. Speak calmly and give clear, step-by-step instructions. C. Avoid speaking to prevent escalation. D. Let passengers manage themselves. 12. A trainee asks what to do if the bus is stuck on train tracks. What is the correct mentoring response? A. Stay on the bus and wave for help. B. Evacuate all passengers and move them away at an angle to the tracks. C. Call the railroad company before exiting. D. Drive forward slowly, regardless of signals. 13. Which of the following best demonstrates compliance with emergency passenger evacuation procedures? A. Relying on passengers to decide when to exit. B. Immediately instructing all passengers to leave through the front only. C. Directing evacuation based on location and hazard. D. Waiting until the hazard worsens. 14. In the event of a bus rollover, which action should be avoided? A. Calling for emergency services. B. Re-entering the bus to retrieve items. C. Accounting for all passengers. D. Activating hazard lights. 15. When evaluating a driver's response to a mock emergency, what metric best reflects their performance? A. Time to complete the drill. B. Clarity of communication and adherence to procedure. C. Number of questions they ask. D. How loud their instructions are. 16. What is the first step in responding to a medical emergency on the bus? A. Call dispatch. B. Administer medication. C. Secure the vehicle and assess the situation. D. Ask passengers for advice. 17. How should emergency information be incorporated into a CDL training curriculum? A. Through reading assignments only. B. With scenario-based simulations and follow-up evaluations. C. Using only online modules. D. Delivered as optional content. 18. What tool is best for evaluating trainee readiness in emergency bus evacuations? A. Written test. B. Simulated evacuation drill. C. Attendance record. D. Interview with supervisor. 19. A driver's fire extinguisher is discharged and empty. What should they do? A. Use water instead. B. Replace or recharge it before driving. C. Continue the route and fix it later. D. Notify a passenger. 20. What is the best way to ensure that emergency procedures are retained by adult learners? A. Multiple choice tests only. B. Role-playing emergency events with feedback. C. Memorization drills. D. Classroom lectures. 21. A passenger with mobility issues needs evacuation. What's the safest protocol? A. Leave them for emergency responders. B. Ask them to crawl out. C. Use the lift or assist manually with care and coordination. D. Evacuate others first and return later. 22. What is the best placement for a warning triangle on a curved road? A. Directly behind the bus. B. 10 feet behind. C. 500 feet behind the curve. D. As far back as necessary to warn oncoming traffic. 23. In an electrical fire on board, what type of extinguisher should be used? A. Water. B. Foam. C. Dry chemical. D. Grease-specific. 24. What federal agency sets emergency preparedness regulations for passenger transport? A. FAA. B. OSHA. C. FMCSA. D. NHTSA. 25. A bus door is jammed during an emergency. What is the correct procedure? A. Panic and break a window. B. Use alternate exits and notify emergency services. C. Push harder on the door. D. Ask passengers to wait it out. 26. What behavior should be modeled by mentors during emergency response training? A. Frustration with delays. B. Calm, clear, and decisive leadership. C. Reliance on manuals only. D. Indifference to questions. 27. If a driver is incapacitated, what is the next best step? A. Ask a passenger to drive. B. Wait for another driver. C. Contact dispatch and emergency services while securing passengers. D. Do nothing. 28. How can you verify that a new driver understands bus evacuation procedures? A. Ask them to sign off on a checklist. B. Observe their actions during a drill. C. Have them create a poster. D. Give them a written test only. 29. When should the emergency evacuation plan be reviewed with passengers? A. Only in an actual emergency. B. Before starting a trip, especially on charters. C. When requested. D. Once per year. 30. A training session includes emergency video footage. What improves retention? A. Replaying the video multiple times. B. Group discussion and role play after viewing. C. Assigning a written summary. D. Encouraging silent reflection. 31. A tire blowout causes the bus to swerve. What is the correct response? A. Brake hard. B. Accelerate quickly. C. Hold the steering wheel firmly, ease off the accelerator, and guide to a stop. D. Let go of the wheel. 32. In what situation should passengers remain on the bus during an emergency? A. Fire on board. B. Flooding in the area. C. Dangerous external conditions like severe weather. D. Driver wants to delay. 33. A mentor is evaluating a trainee's evacuation command. What is the most critical component? A. Tone of voice. B. Clarity and order of instructions. C. Speed of speaking. D. Formal language. 34. A new driver asks why it's important to check emergency exits. The correct explanation is A. To comply with daily inspection protocol. B. So passengers feel safe. C. To ensure exits function in a real emergency. D. Because dispatch requires it. 35. Which action best prevents panic during an emergency? A. Yelling to gain attention. B. Maintaining eye contact and using clear commands. C. Locking all exits. D. Refusing to answer questions. 36. A driver is trained in CPR. A passenger collapses. What should they do first? A. Begin CPR immediately. B. Ask someone to time them. C. Confirm responsiveness and breathing, then follow CPR protocol if needed. D. Record the event. 37. What regulation requires commercial drivers to be trained in emergency procedures? A. FMCSA Part 383. B. OSHA Part 29. C. DOT Section 12. D. DMV Part 47. 38. A driver training session includes staged smoke in the cabin. This approach best supports A. Passive learning. B. Memorization. C. Experiential learning and situational readiness. D. Scheduling efficiency. 39. What is the most effective way to mentor a driver who panics in emergency drills? A. Remove them from the program. B. Provide repeated, supportive simulation and coaching. C. Let them watch others only. D. Avoid drills for now. 40. A fire starts in the rear of the bus. Where should passengers be evacuated? A. Toward the rear. B. Toward the fire. C. Through front and side exits away from the fire. D. Through the windows only. 41. When should a driver use the two-way radio in an emergency? A. Before evacuating passengers. B. After contacting their supervisor. C. Immediately after securing the bus and passengers. D. Only if the cell phone fails. 42. During curriculum development, which method supports adult learners in emergency training? A. Self-paced video only. B. Interactive simulations with reflection. C. Pop quizzes. D. Essay writing. 43. How should a driver mentor respond to trainee questions about unusual emergencies? A. You'll learn with experience. B. Let's work through a scenario together. C. It's not important. D. Ask someone else. 44. What items should always be part of a passenger bus emergency kit? A. DVD player. B. Snack bars. C. First aid supplies. D. Hand sanitizer only. 45. What key behavior should drivers exhibit in any emergency? A. Hesitation. B. Panic. C. Composure and leadership. D. Anger. 46. A driver ignores a minor passenger injury. What consequence may follow? A. Praise for staying on time. B. Disciplinary action and liability exposure. C. Nothing if no complaint is made. D. Positive passenger feedback. 47. A mentor designs an emergency drill with different weather conditions. What principle is being applied? A. Redundancy. B. Realism and adaptive problem solving. C. Time efficiency. D. Cost control. 48. What is the proper action if a bus breaks down on a busy freeway? A. Stay in the middle lane. B. Pull over safely, activate hazards, and place warning devices. C. Exit immediately. D. Use the bus horn continuously. 49. Which of the following enhances emergency procedure retention during training? A. Passive listening. B. Peer teaching and practice drills. C. Assigned reading. D. Multiple choice quizzes only. 50. A passenger with a medical condition becomes combative. The driver should A. Physically restrain them. B. Call medical services and isolate the passenger if safe. C. Ignore the behavior. D. Involve other passengers. 51. A new trainee asks when to call 911 during a bus emergency. What is the correct answer? A. Only after consulting with a supervisor. B. Immediately if there is threat to life, health, or safety. C. After passengers request it. D. Only if the bus is completely disabled. 52. What is the most effective way to practice emergency evacuation for wheelchair users? A. Written explanation only. B. Demonstration without participation. C. Repeated hands-on drills using the lift and straps. D. Watching an instructional video. 53. What role does reflection play in post-emergency training debriefs? A. Extends the training unnecessarily. B. Promotes emotional distress. C. Encourages learners to identify improvement areas and reinforce learning. D. Provides performance ratings. 54. A trainee is confused about when to activate hazard lights. What is the correct explanation? A. Only when the bus is moving. B. Whenever the bus is stopped on or near a roadway. C. When passengers board. D. After calling dispatch. 55. In which situation should the bus not be evacuated immediately? A. Cabin fills with smoke. B. A minor mechanical issue with no immediate threat. C. The driver hears a loud noise. D. The windshield cracks. 56. What is a key mentoring goal during emergency scenario training? A. Achieving perfect timing. B. Avoiding questions to save time. C. Encouraging critical thinking and situational analysis. D. Emphasizing memorization. 57. What is required before using the fire extinguisher in an onboard fire? A. Checking its expiration. B. Evacuating passengers to a safe location. C. Calling the fire department. D. Completing a checklist. 58. A mentor wants to assess how trainees respond under pressure. What method is best? A. Oral quiz. B. Timed emergency response drills with observation. C. Open book test. D. Classroom lecture. 59. Why is it important to train for different types of emergency exits? A. To reduce liability. B. To improve vehicle appearance. C. To ensure passengers can evacuate safely under various scenarios. D. To meet union standards. 60. What should be done if a child becomes separated during a bus evacuation? A. Wait for them to return. B. Have another passenger search for them. C. Notify emergency responders and secure the remaining group. D. Yell their name repeatedly. 61. What defines an effective post-incident review session? A. Focusing only on driver mistakes. B. Quick summary with no feedback. C. Open dialogue, identifying strengths and improvement areas. D. Rewatching the dash cam footage only. 62. Which training component helps build driver confidence in emergencies? A. Pop quizzes. B. Scenario repetition with increasing difficulty. C. Flashcards. D. Textbook summaries. 63. During evacuation, what is a key instruction to prevent passenger injury? A. Run as fast as you can. B. Jump out quickly. C. Use handrails and remain calm. D. Don't worry about others. 64. What is the primary reason to train drivers on emergency communication skills? A. To pass inspections. B. To increase ridership. C. To ensure instructions are clear and calm under stress. D. To entertain passengers. 65. A driver must evacuate near a water hazard. What is the priority? A. Move passengers toward the hazard. B. Gather personal items. C. Direct passengers to safe, dry ground away from water. D. Call a lifeguard. 66. What is the best way to prepare drivers for rare emergencies like bridge collapses? A. Ignore them as low probability. B. Include in tabletop simulations and discuss adaptive strategies. C. Use only written case studies. D. Leave them to post-hire training. 67. A mentor observes a trainee freezing during a drill. What should the mentor do? A. Remove them from training. B. Pause the drill and provide reassurance and coaching. C. Let the other trainees complete it. D. Grade them as failed. 68. What should a driver do after all passengers are evacuated in an emergency? A. Leave immediately. B. Enter the bus again. C. Account for all passengers and wait for emergency responders. D. Light a flare inside. 69. What information should a driver provide to dispatch during an emergency? A. Bus color and size. B. Bus number, location, nature of emergency, injuries, and actions taken. C. Passenger names. D. Supervisor's home address. 70. What items should be regularly inspected to ensure emergency readiness? A. Radio volume. B. Dashboard polish. C. First aid kit and fire extinguisher. D. Luggage tags. CDL Passenger Transport Emergency Procedures Test. The CDL Passenger Transport Emergency Procedures Test is a specialized assessment designed to evaluate a commercial driver's readiness to respond to emergencies while transporting passengers. This test measures the driver's knowledge of safety protocols, evacuation procedures, fire response, accident management, and handling disruptive passengers. It ensures that drivers can make quick, informed decisions under pressure while maintaining control of the vehicle and ensuring passenger safety. The test also covers communication techniques, coordination with emergency services, and compliance with federal and state safety regulations. It is a critical component in certifying that drivers are prepared to act responsibly and effectively in high-stakes passenger transport situations. Here are the top 5 beneficial uses of the sample exam. 1. Ensures emergency readiness. The test equips drivers with the skills and knowledge to respond effectively to onboard emergencies such as fires, accidents, medical incidents, and vehicle malfunctions, enhancing overall passenger safety. 2. Reinforces regulatory compliance. It validates a driver's understanding of federal and state emergency protocols, helping carriers stay in compliance with safety regulations and avoid penalties. 3. Supports crisis communication skills. The test sharpens drivers' ability to communicate calmly and clearly with passengers and emergency responders during critical events, reducing panic and improving outcomes. 4. Enhances passenger trust. Certified drivers reassure the public that they are trained to handle emergencies, promoting confidence in public transportation systems. 5. Guides instructor training programs. It offers a structured benchmark for educators and safety trainers to develop simulation-based curricula focused on emergency decision-making and response strategies.